Aloha, and welcome to another episode of All Intuitive Conversation. I'm Felicia Miller Johnson, and as an all intuitive executive and life coach, I encourage people to live smart and ascend to new levels of success. Today, I have the pleasure of connecting with another guest that I have met before. So let's bring him to the screen. Aloha, Kyle.
Aloha, Felicia. How are you?
I am doing well. I am excited to see you on the screen again. How are you?
Oh, I am wonderful, and I must say it's a big privilege to be on your show, and I thank you. I'm humbled that you asked.
Oh, well, thank you so much for coming. Well, we originally met because I was a guest on your show.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
so that's where and we didn't know each other then either. And so it's been several months since I've been a guest on your show. And like I said, when we arranged this was, months ago. And so here we are today. So tell me a little bit about what's been going on in your world and how you're doing now.
Oh my goodness, where do I start? Well, I don't want to bring the vibe down, but I have
Hmm.
had some health issues lately. It's not stopped me though. Even when I haven't been feeling good, I'm still keeping the podcast going, and I'll have to say it. The guests have been incredible.
Hmm.
I can't believe how many actors and musicians that I've had on the show lately. But the life coaches and the authors, uh, they have been extraordinary. I had the privilege of having a lady come on that how she stays positive is beyond me.
Hmm.
She is afflicted with a disease that it's kind of like Parkinson's,
Hmm.
and the doctors gave her about 5 to 7 years to live, and she was 4.5 years into it when she came on my show,
Wow.
and she still, is writing, putting out books, trying to encourage others and bring awareness. It's the disease, I believe, is called MSA,
Hmm.
and I mean, she had been abused uh, sexually, physically. Uh,
Hmm.
I mean, her story. This is the first time I had a guest on that their story literally made me cry, and it was all I could do to hold back the tears the whole time I talked to her. But she is amazing, and I mean, everything's been growing. It's going better than I ever expected.
Yeah.
Subscribers are starting to pick up,
Yes.
and I've actually been on a couple of shows lately. That's been pretty incredible in itself. I'm used to being on the other side of the microphone.
You have a story as well. Yes.
I have a bit of a story. So which one should I start with? How I got into podcasting, or um,
Whatever one you're feeling called aligned to. Because like I said, because right now, three cards have already came out, which is interesting when you were talking about the women, because the two of them are queens.
oh
They're
wow,
women. They're sitting in their thrones, right? So that's like, okay. But then when you were sharing about their empowerment and how they were going through all the different situations and staying strong, like that was that energy, because it's talking about brilliant, experienced, humorous, judgmental, releasing situations of people that are no longer serving you, seeing the humor in difficult, situations, focusing on career, divorce, or unmarried individuals, generous, practical, gracious, materialistic, the ability to make anything more beautiful. So those two phrases, really releasing situations of people that no longer serve you, the ability to make anything more beautiful, in those situations that they were experiencing and that they were sharing, with you. And then the next one that came out was two gentlemen, one holding, the world. And it says, taking the next steps, bold and ambitious choices, partnering with others who share your dreams, expanding your plans, continuing to move forward. So the thing that, Kyla, stood out to me was that you first thing that you said was, I didn't want to bring the energy down. And it's like, how is it that sharing your story and what you're experiencing health crisis wise or anything like that, it's not a downer? it's a connection with you, right? It's where, where I would want to know, like you said, how's your life, been going? So with the ladies that you talk to, the question that's coming through is that those are the situations and you experienced your health and you just asked me like, well, what do I talk about now? Talk about what do you want to see in the future? What's forward for Kyle?
Well, you know, of course, I want to see the show become successful. I mean, who wouldn't?
Hmm.
I'm disabled and I'm not able to work, and even though I get disability, my plan is not to make that my career. I
Mm.
want to make this my career. I want to be able to stand on my own 2 feet, make my own money. But there's so many messages out there. You know, there's people who might think that they're just an ordinary person, but they have extraordinary stories. Uh, there's a guy that was on my show who had been shot several times and he survived, and now he spends his time trying to heal others. The women that I've had on the show that have talked about the abuses that they've suffered, and yet they're trying to help others. They've used those experiences to build a platform to help others, which is basically what my show is about. I have two different shows that I do primarily. One is my paranormal show, and the other one is the Good Vibes show.
Hmm.
And my story, I was molested when I was a child, and I was picked on quite a bit. Uh, I got to the point where I just wanted to end it all, and I was unsuccessful in my attempts. So, the universe wants me here. So I figure I have a purpose.
So the card that came out is the theme that says presence. Trigger statement. Why did this happen to me? True statement. How did this happen for me? Know that you are the star of your life, my dear. You are the lead, and the audience is here for you.
Hmm.
So it's interesting when you talked about your show and, the individuals and how you're wanting this to be, a part of you and how you're connecting with that. And you talk about other people's stories all the time, which you're kind of surprised and like different that you're on this other side. And it goes back to the audience is here for you. Audience is here for your show, but also the ability to tell your story because you have gone through some experiences the same way that you're doting and encouraging other people like, wow, they've been through all these different things. So has Kyle.
Uh, I have had my fair share. I started abusing alcohol and drugs when I was only 12 years old, and part of it was just to fit in with others, and then it got to be a habit, and it controlled my life. It was a big part of why my first marriage failed, and
Mm.
my children are really just now starting to have a real relationship with me because I'm not that same person I was those many years ago. It led to me having a heart attack at only age 36.
Mm.
It was a big contributing factor to my diabetes, and my diabetes was so severe that I developed a disease in my spine because of it, and which led to my disability. I went through all these things, and then I changed my life around. And
Hmm.
I was having a conversation with my son just this morning, and I talked to him. I know we're moving forward, and I want to keep moving forward, but I do have to apologize for the things that I did to contribute to the problems that he's going through. And
Mm.
he's more forgiving of me than I am, but I know that we have to get past that to keep moving forward. And it led me to also to a better marriage. My wife that I have now is the most incredible woman I've ever met in my life. She's so
Yes.
encouraging, and She's helped me to get back on a spiritual path. She's opened up a lot of doors for me, and I've had experiences in my life that I could only dream of before. And so the catch 22 is I've if I could change it, I would have changed it because of my children. But then again, I
Mhm.
wouldn't change it because it's led me to where I am now, and it's
Yep.
helping me to help other people.
Right. So when you were talking about this the conversation you were having with your son, the next card that came out was the theme grace. And it literally says, "What do they have that I don't?" It's a trigger statement. True statement. We are all special. Allow your inner critic to be silenced as you find the perfection in yourself and those around you. So it's like again the encouraging word that yeah, we've all quote unquote made mistakes like in our lives. But then it becomes, was it really a mistake? Is it something that we experienced as, our spiritual beings on this human experience to go through this? And like now we're ascending and we're learning from that and having that experience to, as I like to say, live smart and ascend to new levels of, success. So it's like you changed the trajectory. Like you didn't stay in that same pattern. Like you changed those things. And now, like you say, here you are here helping helping other individuals to share their story. But again, it's a reminder about you're special as well and sharing your story and that people want to hear it just as much as you host others, right? So I'm still going to go back.
And
But
I'm very transparent, and it's not for people to feel sorry for me. I'm transparent because I want other people out there who have experienced things similar to my situation to know that there's hope.
yes.
I want to encourage them, and I want my platform to grow because, like I said, there's people that come on that have stories that are kind of like mine that
Hmm.
can also encourage other people out there, and that's what it's all about.
Okay. So the next question is we're getting to know more of you. Tell me the story behind Coyote.
Ooh. The story behind me. Well, I've told you the things that happened to me
Mm-hmm.
and what it led to. But I've always tried to be a friendly person. I've never really met a stranger,
Mm-hmm.
and I always want to bring a smile to everyone's face. So my goal has always been to at least make one person smile every day. And even if it's with my goofy dad jokes and go going to the grocery store and then the cashier saying, "Would you like your milk in a bag?" And I'm like, "No, I prefer to keep it in the jug because it's a lot less messy that way."
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
I'm the
Well,
guy that hates the self checkout line. I'd rather spend the extra 10 minutes to go
and be
talk
with the
to the
person.
cashier.
Well, it's interesting that you say that because I must have already been connecting with you yesterday, because the post that I did, I had like three cards, and basically the intuitive feedback that came back to that was as you go out, go either going on a walk, going to the grocery store, or going to the park or something like that, to intentionally the person that you connect with to say hi to them,
Mhm.
and then watch how they may have a new pep in their spring in their step or a new attitude including you, and then here you come today talking about that is exactly what you like to do. So it's like, of course I'll share that link with you, but I was just like, that's exactly what I said yesterday. And so you were kind of just like already there. And so then I was led to um this animal energy because interestingly enough, this card deck that I had that I pulled out had basically like this wolf coyote kind of cover, right? So I was like, of course it does.
Wow.
And so when I pulled the cards, you got two.
Oh.
You got the Black Panther and you got the frog. And here's what's coming out about them. It talks about passion, and it says, follow your passion. And what I'm also noting is that the Black Panther, just the whole energy vibe that you got on this whole black shirt, you kind of have the darker, background. But I'm really sensing and feeling that your passion is doing this whole podcasting thing. And like that's when Emmanuel was just kind of coming through, just saying, continue to follow your passion with that. But then you also got Frog, which talks about purification, and it says clear out the clutter. So the question becomes, you're wanting this desire, you wanting to have this podcast and wanting to reach and be successful. What is the clutter you need to clear out in order to take that next step?
Wow. I've kind of thought about that lately too.
Mm,
I kind of take on other people's problems. So I have people in my life that I care so deeply for that they've been going through some stuff.
mhm,
I'll have to say most of it is because of the choices they've made. And it's not a person that I could just walk away from and just love from afar. It's someone very, very, very close. And I got to stop taking on their problems and let them figure things out for themselves. We've given the best advice that we can,
mhm,
and all you can do is say, "Look, here's my experiences. This is what I've been through. You have to make these choices for yourself." I mean, I did, and I made a lot of bad decisions too. Took me a
mhm.
while to kind of wake up, and I've got to stop worrying about what they're going to do, and just stick to what I'm supposed to do.
And follow your,
Follow my dreams. Follow the podcast.
yes, follow your passion. Because like when we do that, I mean, I think a lot of times we do when we have these connections, and especially when it's family, we can just feel like this whole sense of this guilt, right? Like we're supposed to just always be there. But there are people that can be in your life that can be, as we say, energy drainers. There are people that you can interact with and you're just like, oh wow, I feel really, encouraged and empowered every time I meet with this person. They are, great. Or you meet with somebody and you're like, dang, I need to go take a nap. I just feel like completely, drained. And so it just becomes like, what do we, because actually I wound up putting that card right under grace. It's like, how do we have grace in releasing certain people, situations that's no longer really serving us in order to move forward to what we want, to happen in our life in order to like preserve ourselves. So with everything that you kind of got going on with the health and wanting to show and realizing this, how are you caring for yourself? Self-care. What are you doing?
Well, I am taking the advice of my doctors and
Hmm.
trying to be a little more conscious of how I eat and making sure I take my medication like I'm supposed to,
Hmm.
be a little more active, and mentally, I've got to work a little harder on that. Getting into my alone space where I can do my meditating.
Hmm.
I'd still do it, but I don't do it as often as I should. And I'm trying to reconnect to those more positive people that are in my circle.
Yes.
It's, it's one of the hardest things, especially when you've been friends with someone for 30, 40 years, to say, I can't really hang with you anymore because you don't want to change. And
Hmm.
that's why I call it loving them from afar. I'm still here if they really need me, but I'm not going to be coming to the house and drinking it up. That's not me anymore. I'm
Right.
more of you know grandpa hanging out with grandkids.
Yes.
you know, Doing my other passions, which paranormal is one. I'm an investigator.
Hmm.
And I'm itching to do another investigation too. I haven't been to one in a while.
So what's keeping you from doing that?
really nothing keeping me from doing it. I just need to go out and find a place and go do it. No, we did get a call the other night. We're supposed to go help someone out and do an investigation on their place. I think we're going Saturday night. So pray for me,
Okay,
protect
well
me.
you did the whole like the sense of the passion and the protection um kind of thing. And so I was connecting again. I was like, okay, well, who can be encouraging to help Kyle at this moment, Emmanuel? And so you got the Earth Guardian.
Ooh.
So looking at this, what stands out for you?
Well, the angel. So I know I've got guides, and I need to work harder on connecting with my guides.
So you know what it says at the bottom of that card?
What's it say?
Stay rooted and grounded. And as you're talking about the whole meditation, and you're not kind of necessarily doing that, and especially with the work of going out and dealing with the paranormal, normal, you know, you got to stay rooted and grounded
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
and protected with that. So it's like, what can you do? Because especially if you're going out Saturday, what can you do that would help you to be rooted and grounded before you go out?
Well, I always have my talismans with me. And I'll put my intentions into it before I go in.
Mm-hmm.
But I do need to take some time out this week and just go to my garden and meditate.
And you know what the first sentence of that says? Message. Take time to connect deeply with the energy of the earth so that you can feel supported and make decisions based on strength and integrity. The earth guardian represents the angels of earth who brings the medicine of feeling grounded and strong. They are the protectors of the land and the planet and can help you connect with your mission, back to your passion here, and how you support the evolution of the planet. The Earth Guardian on the card is beautiful, part angel, part elemental, who is non binary, showing that they are a divine being without a human gender. Their staff, adorned with a dream catcher, shows that you have the capacity to help keep you grounded in your dreams and reality. Extended message. It's important for you to take a grounded approach to your current situation. If you're rushing ahead or making decisions based on more fearful responses, you will miss out on the growth that you deserve. Take some time to calm down and get grounded before proceeding further. Breathe, relax, and connect with your center. Then consider what to do. It's important to plant seeds that are going to grow into something beautiful rather than to turn into a weed you have to deal with. Hmm. Right. So what resonated with you with that?
Of course, getting out there, getting grounded. It's funny you mentioned about the earth and everything because my garden is kind of my temple, I guess, or my church.
Uh-huh.
It's something about plants, especially when I'm growing vegetables. When I see something has grown from what I've planted, there's
The
no
seeds.
other sense of accomplishment. I don't know how to explain it. It's calming for me, and I'd
Okay.
love to get back out to the water again. Water is very very calming for me.
So when's the last time you've been in your garden or to the water?
Well, it's been probably a week since I've been out to the garden. It's probably been about 2 3 weeks since I've been out to the water.
So when you going?
We'll probably go out to my garden this evening if it doesn't come raining.
It's calling you.
I need to
And
get out there.
and I think that's also going to help encourage you with the situation that you're having, um, with releasing the friend or the family member that you had, and then also preparing to get ready for your passion and just connecting with your help and all, because you already know all these things. These things are all just confirmation of what you already know.
Yeah, it's like when you go to therapy, you already have the answers, but the therapist is there to draw the answers out of you. You know what I mean?
Hmm. I do. Well, Kyle, it has been a pleasure connecting with you. I hope our interaction today was encouraging for you to live smart and ascend to new levels of success in your work and life. Thank you to those that have watched, knowing that this has been another all intuitive conversation. And until we meet again next week,